Ready to get a jump start on your holiday shopping? Get out those lists and head on over to deadiceondeck.com. Starting now until December 6th, get 10% off your entire order of $35 or more with code BA on Black Friday.
Hey, gang, and hopefully I don't, pause or stop and start. It could be my internet. I noticed the some of the intro stuff and things was kind of pausing a little bit. So hopefully that won't cause too much of a problem. Hey, Russell, you're here right on time for this watch along. Um, I'm really, looking forward to doing this one because I was going to, this might be better for me actually. I was actually going to try to watch this movie beforehand. And I noticed that I am pausing a little bit. So, gang, I apologize in advance about that. I'm going to try closing some stuff out. Um, this may be a little choppy. I don't know if it's my internet. I don't know if it's StreamYard. I'm not really sure, or if it's YouTube or what it is. But like I said, hopefully it won't cause too much of a problem tonight. Um, I may need to turn off like the 4K local recordings because I think my computer may not quite be powerful enough to have these 4K recordings. And really, truth be told, I don't really need to have that. Russell, you say you're going to be watching on your DVD tonight. Well, Steve got me a copy of it to watch. Like I said, I was going to watch it beforehand, but I didn't get around to it. So I'm kind of going into this one a little bit blind, but that might be the best way to go into it. Um, but like I said, hopefully this, I'm seeing it on the screen. So Russell, am I pausing on your end when you're watching me? Because I'm not sure if I need to. Maybe I need to take myself out and come back in. I'm going to try that and see if that works any better. Just 1 second, folks. Okay. Um, so I'm not freezing up on your side. So maybe it's just on my side, which that's okay. I can deal with it. Hopefully, people that watch this on the replay won't have any issues or anything. I think I'm going to go back, before I do the next one of these, and turn off that 4K a little bit. So I'm glad, Russell. It's because, especially for you, because this was your pick for a watch along, and I don't want, to the enjoyment. I don't know why I'm getting a call at 7 something at night. Anyways, um, probably a spam call. But anyways, I didn't get around to watching it. So I'm gonna be, watching it fresh. And like I said, that might be the best way for me to watch this. But Steve was telling me, and I did not know this. Steve was telling me that this was a rejected script that was originally going to be for Death Wish 2. I don't know if you know that or not, Russell. You may have already mentioned it. Um, so that's always interesting to me, to know about things like that. So, um, we're going to get started here in just a second. I am watching, I don't have a DVD or a Blu-ray or anything of it, but I am watching Blu-ray quality 1080p, a file that Steve was able to obtain for me. And I do have the subtitles on. He was able to get me some subtitles for it. And this is about an hour and 45 minutes long. So not much longer than the standard. And I see we've got you say yes I did. Okay, cool. Russell, you're usually up on all this movie trivia, especially for movies that you pick for watch-alongs or want to discuss and all that. So I figured you did. But it looks like we got a few people watching. Russell's the only one in the chat, but that is not a requirement that everybody be in the chat talking, because some people, frankly, don't feel comfortable just jumping in here in the chat and talking. So it may be just me and Russell here at some points in times, and that's okay. And we may have a whole load of people at one time, and that's okay too. I do want to remind everybody, whether you're in here right now or you watch this on the replay, that we will be doing, or I will be doing, a watch along for Hell House LLC tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And that will be Menelek's pick. And next weekend, I will not be doing watch alongs, but the weekend after, I will be doing some more watch alongs. And so Menelek, once again, he's kind of cleaning up on these watch alongs. But It Follows is one that he picked, and I'm trying to remember the other one. It's probably on this list here. Hang on. No, listen. REC, or REC. Y'all can feel free to tell me, how that should be pronounced. But since this is technically a live stream tonight, found footage film, yes, Hell House LLC is what I would consider a found footage film. Yeah, it's very good, very creepy, Russell, if you haven't seen it before. I'm excited about this one tonight, but I'm also excited about Hell House LLC tomorrow night as well. But you could throw your hat in the ring just by giving a $5 super chat or more. You can throw your hat in the ring to pick the next watch along I will do. Now, like I said, it's all sewn up for the weekend after next. Menelek has picked It Follows and REC, or REC. And I guess REC or REC, it's probably considered oh boy. You may be able to hear my dog out there. I may have to take myself out of the stream here in just a second, get Zoe in. But the weekend after that, I won't be doing them. And then the next weekend after that, I will be doing some. So if you give a $5 super chat or more, and you're the only one that does so, you will definitely get your pick. If another person does, you will both get your pick. If there's 3 or more people, that is when I'll have to do the drawing. And I'll do the drawing live, so y'all know that, hey, Dana's not cheating. And I'll put all the choices in the hat, and I will pick out a couple. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to get started here in just a minute or two. Russell, you say you're not much into found footage, but we'll watch. Yeah, I think you might like this one, Russell. So I also want to remind everybody about the Beyond Black Friday sale that I'm having at deaditesondeck.com right now, my horror shop. Dorothy, shh. Stop. Okay, sorry about that, folks. But if you spend $35 or more at the deaditesondeck.com shop, you can save 10% off of your entire order by using the code Beyond Black Friday. Okay, all in caps. And I think I've got all that information in the description for this video. There's a clickable link to go to my horror shop, as well as the code to use to get your 10% off of orders of $35 or more. So if you're thinking about getting some Christmas gifts, or maybe getting a gift for yourself, something for yourself, head on over to deaditesondeck.com and check out everything I've got to offer on there. And if you don't find what you want, or you're not into horror, hey, I do custom work as well. So be sure to, there's a little form you can fill out that will send it directly to my email, letting me know that you are interested in custom work being done. All right. So I hate to do this to Russell or anybody else that's watching, but I'm going to have to see if I can get Zoe in real quick. I will be right back. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully, I won't have to leave again unless it's to run to the restroom or something like that. But all the dogs are in right now. And I have my Ghost Welch's energy drink. So hopefully, I can be energized throughout this entire watch along. So let's go ahead and get things synced up so we can get this movie started here in just a second. So I am 6 seconds into this file where it's just showing the 20th Century Fox logo and a little searchlight or floodlight or whatever is shining on it. So for anybody that will be watching along, you can rent this. If you don't own it, you can go to YouTube and rent it for like $3.99 or something like that. I think you can also rent it around the same price at Amazon. But I know a lot of the times people don't like to do that. So I'm not going to say that that's a requirement. You can hang out even if you're not, physically watching the movie. Russell, you say, love the Jewish possession film, The Possession. Little girl buys a Jewish Dybbuk box at a yard sale and becomes possessed. I'm not sure if I've seen that one, but I may have to check that one out, Russell. Did anybody see that? What is it called? It just slipped right out of my mind. Advent calendar. Has anybody seen that one? That one's pretty creepy. I saw it a while back. But we'll give this about another minute in case people that are planning on watching along want to get their respective copies queued up. And then Russell, we'll get this party started with this watch along. And thank you once again, Russell, for recommending this one or saying that this was your pick, and also for supporting the channel as well. You saw it on YouTube? Okay, cool. So I was trying to think if there's anything. I'm hoping to have some programming, more cinematic turkeys, more uh, horror films I'm thankful for. That series has seemed to be a little bit more popular than the cinematic turkeys. Might be a lot of people doing cinematic turkeys right now. It's entirely possible. Um, and I may try to do a pre-recorded Terror Time Tea tonight because I have not done one yet. And I didn't do one last week either, and I'm kind of slacking on that. All right, it is 7:17, so let's go ahead and I will do the countdown and we'll get started with this movie. And if anybody comes in later and would like to know a timestamp, me and Russell will be glad to give you a timestamp on that. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Press play. I got kind of digitized there, but like I said, I'm using a 1080p Blu-ray file. Russell, actually, I don't know how this movie slipped under my radar. I'm a big Kevin Bacon fan, and I like films like this. Um, so we're getting some background on the family here. Um, we're seeing, well, this is kind of timely because this is Christmas. They're opening presents. And this is a James Wan film, too, as well. Nothing Left to Fear is a good one. I'll have to check that one out, too. So you can see that one of the kids is really, really into hockey. You watching the unrated version? Um, this may be the unrated version. Usually Steve tries to get, whatever's the best there is. And John Goodman's on this film as well. So now you can see that the son is getting older and he's gotten a lot better at hockey. So, Russell, is yours about an hour and 45 minutes long, the version you're watching? And now we see them celebrating New Year's. And this is based on a novel by Brian Garfield. And directed by Mr. James Wan. Lee Winnell is in it. So you can see the brothers here are kind of picking at each other, um, kind of having a little disagreement. Okay, I just switched from the office scene to the boys are, well, their dads just come in. Boys are kind of like slapping each other in the back of the head and having a little disagreement there. So now we're at the hockey game. He's watching his son. His son's evidently really good at hockey. So we're going to be soon coming up. I did see. Oh, sorry, I keep messing with this mini heater here. I go back and forth. I think it's hormonal. When we women get older, you know how that is. I go from being hot to cold, all the time. But I did see little pieces of this at the beginning. I ain't gonna lie. And we're going to be coming up on a very serious scene in the film. So I don't think these guys liked him flashing his lights at them because they had their lights too bright. That is something though that even though I like the Death Wish movies, um, and this one too is no exception. I'm liking the setup here and stuff. But that is something that always bothered me about the Death Wish movies in particular is that um, I know there are bad people in the world, right? And sometimes people, unfortunately, do have a run of bad luck or tragic luck. But one thing I told my dad, and I think I've told Steve this before, I said, poor Charles Bronson in the whole series of Death Wish movies, he must be the most unlucky man ever. And there seems to be a preponderance of bad people. It's like almost everybody is bad. And I'm seeing the same kind of setup here. And it doesn't mean I don't like the movie. It's just that in some ways it's a little unrealistic. So the son wanted to get something to drink while his dad is, gassing up the car. Yes, Kevin was very funny in Animal House. You are correct. So things are going to get bad when you see these guys coming in here with guns and stuff. It's just a case of being wrong place, wrong time. So they just killed the clerk. So it's kind of like they're initiating one guy into their group and forcing him to use the machete on this poor boy. Yeah, exactly. They are great revenge films, Russell. You are correct. So, oops, Kevin Bacon has seen that guy now. He knows what the guy looks like. Well, he's messed up. This is hard to watch. This stuff is very, very hard to watch. Even though we all know that this is not real, we do know that stuff like this does happen. Cool cars, I agree with that too, Russell. And I think these guys are just bad just for the sake of being bad. So the doctors, when they come out like that, it's never good. So now, not only has he lost his son, but he is having to see a lineup. And then we go into the funeral scene. Usually, the way I step into these films is once you get past the hump of that tragic event and then it goes into revenge mode, I'm usually okay then, because it's more about cause and effect and the action part of it and all of that. But I have to get myself over that tragic hump. But if you don't have that tragedy, then the rest of it wouldn't make sense. It's just like I've talked about I Spit on Your Grave. If you did not have that complete violation of that woman, the rest of the movie would not make sense. John Goodman's great in this, Russell. I always love John Goodman as well. And I would think that, um, the loss of a spouse or a mother, father, um, sibling, whatever, they're all horrible losses. But I wouldn't want to find out, but it seems to me the loss of your child would be one of the greatest um, tragedies. Um, and the other brother has got to be feeling some guilt here because, and people always do this, even in real life. If there has been a disagreement or a fight or something with another person in your family, and then something happens to that other person, there's an enormous amount of guilt that's always attached to that. So they're telling him that the guy will get 3 to 5, but he's wanting this guy to go away for good. And the machete that was used to kill his son has magically disappeared. So they're talking about an initiation killing to get someone initiated into a gang. It's kind of like a very pumped up version of like hazing at college. You know, you get initiated into a sorority or a fraternity, but this takes it a few steps beyond that, way beyond that. Russell, you say been a while since you watched your DVDs? And how horrible to be sitting across the courtroom from a person who is responsible for the death of your child. And people might wonder why he's doing this. Why he's saying it was dark, there were a lot of them. I could have been mistaken. And they let him go. But you guys know, and I know, that the reason why he wants him released is so he can get his own revenge on this guy. I am Russell. I'm at the part where the guy has just gotten released, and his buddies are pulling up there in their cool cars to pick him up. my timestamp is 21 minutes and 47 seconds. So about the 20-22 minute mark, somewhere around there, is usually all set up in these types of movies. And then we're slowly going to move into, or quickly in some cases, move into the revenge part of the film. Yeah, he's following them. The bald guy was talking to him, and then they got in their cars and they're leaving. So he's now Kevin Bacon is looking for some weapons. Yeah. Or maybe he's found the machete they used. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's in his garage. Maybe he's in his garage. Yeah, I guess he's in their shed or their garage. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. There I go sneezing. Sorry about that, folks. So the younger son is starting to ask questions about what happened. Yeah, right, Russell. You said love that Kevin goes all out revenge mode. And so now he's thinking, what am I doing here? He's starting to second guess himself, and should he be doing this? That's one thing I don't think was, and Russell, you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was one thing that wasn't really ever addressed directly in Death Wish, was that Charles Bronson's character, I don't think he ever second guessed himself. Once his wife died and his daughter was traumatized, um, I don't think he ever second guessed what he was doing or what he should be doing. You said one of our fave James Wan films. Yeah, like again, I'm not sure how this one slipped under my radar, Russell, because I love James Wan movies. Russell, you say correct. So he's really, he's letting this guy have it now. And the character probably does go back and forth between feeling guilty about what he's doing to these guys, because these guys that he is taking out, well, this one especially, I think they told him he was 23. This guy is probably just a little bit older than what his son was. I think the way that Kevin Bacon is dressed in this, I know I'm making comparisons between this and Death Wish, but like I said earlier, this was, hey, Menelec, this was based on, or this is a rejected script for Death Wish 2. So the way that Kevin Bacon is dressed in this film is very similar to how Charles Bronson as Paul Kersey was dressed in Death Wish, if I'm remembering correctly. Maybe not exact, but similar. Yeah, you are right, Russell, that this is sort of like Death Wish too. Although it has been a while since I've seen Death Wish too. So, in this, see again, we did not see a lot of the inner workings of what Charles Bronson's character of Paul Kersey was thinking. We just basically saw straight cause and effect. And I'm not saying that that was a bad thing, but this film is giving you a little peek inside of what Kevin Bacon's character is going through in this. He at this point he's not dealing with this very well. Yeah, where he goes after certain people, right? We basically got the indication too that that's what Paul Kersey was going to do, is he was going to go after all the bad people, right? When you see him at the airport at the end of the first Death Wish movie, and because they basically, they said, we know that you're the vigilante, we know that you're the one that was killing these guys, so we just want you to leave town, you know. And there is John Goodman. Speaking of John Goodman, I think we see more of the main character's psyche um, than we see a Paul Kersey psyche. Like I said, straight cause and effect. So they're finding out that the one guy is dead now. Russell, you said there's a John Goodman deleted scene on YouTube. I think I did see that when I was trying to see if I could watch the movie on YouTube. So the detectives come to tell him, well, the guy we think killed your son, somebody killed him. She's noticing the bandage on his hand. Right, Russell. You said me, I would have put my hand in my pocket. I'm wondering though if by doing that, of having that, is there an underlying thing with the Nick character, Kevin Bacon's character in this, that he wants to be found out? I mean, maybe there's some kind of subtle thing where he thinks he should be found out. Hey, Gory Tiger. Russell, you said Lee Winnell looks badass. So now he seemed to try to hide his hand. Russell, you said Lee was funny in the kid zombie film Cooties. Cooties I've heard of. Cooties is one that I haven't seen though. So evidently his hand's starting to bleed again. He's getting aspirin and bandages. So I'm thinking these guys are meaning to take him out here. So they're not making themselves inconspicuous here. And just a little reminder for those of you in here watching, um, you can give a $5 or more super chat during this watch along and throw your hat in the ring to pick one of the upcoming watch alongs. Russell, you say you're going to watch the special features after this. Does it have some good special features on the DVD? I'm guessing it does if you're going to partake of them. Yeah, Hector Dog and Spike. Russell, just so you know, if you see me yawning, it's not because the movie's boring to me. I'm enjoying watching this movie. It's just that I've been just super tired lately. I don't know what's going on. which is why I have this energy drink here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very cool how they filmed this thing. I'm also glad that Steve was able to obtain me a really good, like, high def copy. Oh, goodness. I've also been sneezing a lot, folks. Russell, you said camera outside the garage and pass to another camera guy. We see Kevin Bacon's battling it out with one of these other guys here, one of these other punks. And when I say punks, I don't mean punk rockers, but actual, street punks. I can see too that this movie does not pull any punches at all. Great use of the seatbelt there. And that car is just about to go off the top of that roof. Yeah. It's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Like I said, Russell, if you notice me almost looking like I'm nodding off, it's not because the movie is boring. It's just literally that at certain points in times, if I'm just sitting, I get really, really sleepy. So I'm going to try to keep myself, I may start moving around and stuff like that if y'all don't mind. So, you know, I don't really have to say in his defense because he's getting revenge for the death of his son at the hands of all these guys. But they are coming after him now. They are trying to kill him. So now he's worried, of course, about his other son. Thank you, Russell. Honestly, I mean, I don't, I hope I don't nod off. So Lucas, the other son, is, I think what he's going through is like survivor's guilt. Russell, you say when he changes the full out, it gets better. So this is getting very dangerous because now they have his wallet with the family pictures. So nobody's noticing this dude walking in here with this big package. Well, security guard finally did. Russell, you said love the scene where he buys guns from John. So this guy brought him a package. I believe that's his suitcase. Hmm. Hmm. So now they're threatening to come after his family. So the detective is there. He's made it back home. So the detective knows what's going on. She's wise to it. So now he's asking the detective, how do I make it stop? For people that aren't in here watching this with me and Russell and anybody else that may be watching it, I think you're missing out on a good film, a well made film. And I think at one point he was thinking maybe, even if these people don't kill his wife, that he was going to lose his wife. But like I say, if you are not able to watch along with us live, you can always, get yourself a copy of the movie and watch this on the replay. Uh-oh. None of these dudes are in this house, and they killed the cops outside. So now they've got his family too now. So um, so this is not um, this does not look good at all. So his son is still alive, but he's lost his wife. Um, so this is very similar to Death Wish, where the wife died and the daughter is very traumatized. In this one, we have one of the sons die, then the wife dies, and the other son is barely hanging on. So he's you know, as unfortunate as the situation is, he's finally getting a chance to talk to his son without his son coming back at him. When he says, hey, I know you thought we thought more of your brother than you. Um, but he's finally, like I said, as tragic and as unfortunate as this situation is, he's getting to tell Luke all the things that he never got to tell him. I would say so, Russell, that losing a family would change a man. They would never be the same again. And so snuck out of the hospital. So we're closing in on the last 30 minutes of this film. And this is probably where the rubber's going to hit the pavement um, in a lot of ways. The last, quarter of a movie or so, and especially this type of movie, is where we're either going to have a resolution or not. Sometimes the resolution, a lot of times it comes, but it's not as clean as maybe we would have liked. So we're going to see how this one pans out. So this is the part that Russell that you were talking about where he's going to buy guns from John Goodman's character. Russell, you said I was adopted because they told our mom couldn't have children. 4 years later, she got pregnant. Uh, yeah, sometimes, the doctors just aren't right. They're only human. And, sometimes they give us incorrect information. I know my cousin's second husband, who unfortunately ended up dying of cancer. Um, but he had had cancer treatments years before, and he was told that he would not be able to father children. And he was able to father children because him and my cousin uh, had a beautiful little girl, and she was happy and healthy, and still is happy and healthy as far as I know. That's right. He's getting him some guns. Got him a lot of guns and a lot of bullets. So we're finding out that the guys he's killing, or some of the guys he's killing, are sons of John Goodman's character. And he's, he doesn't hold any ill will towards Kevin Bacon or Nick. And he's telling him, just go do it. Go with God and a bag full of guns. Now there is definitely going to be a war that detective talked about a little bit earlier. Nick has truly reached a point where he is going to declare war on these guys. So, they had to shave his hair to take care of this wound, so he's gonna finish the job here. Preferred customer, yeah. This was something else we didn't ever see Charles Bronson do. Is cut his hair off. I mean, Nick's going, military style now. And it definitely, seeing him do that, definitely gives him a harder edge. So he's putting his son's jacket on. I know that I do get a little quieter during certain ones of these scenes, and part of that is that this is a movie I haven't seen, so I'm kind of getting sucked into it a little bit. So forgive me if I don't talk during some parts of this. Oh, he blew that door open. He's like, we killed you. Um, Not quite though, dude. I blew that guy's head off. So he took his own dad out. So that's the end of John Goodman's character, I believe. Man on a mission, exactly, Russell. Oh, I may be watching the uncut version too, because I just seen him blow that guy's leg off in pieces. Some of this sort of reminds me of Savage Streets too, when she's during the final part of that film where Linda Blair's character is hunting those last few guys down. Savage Streets is a good film. Yeah, Blackboard Jungle is another one yet again, Russell, that I have always heard of, but it's not one that I have watched, but I would like to eventually. There's also a creepy aspect of this because it's in an old mental hospital too. I love some of these shots in this too, like the overhead shot and things like that. It's almost like an overhead shot with a split screen. I like this too, where it's moving through the holes in the doors. You watched on YouTube, Russell? Yeah, I'm gonna have to start checking out what YouTube selections are again. There was a time where YouTube was like my go-to resource. Ooh, he blew his fingers off. Ooh, yeah, this is. Like I said, this movie doesn't pull any punches at all. So he has the nerve to tell, you know, Nick that, you know, you look like one of us. Look what I made you. So she's telling him that, you know, they think his son's going to pull through, his other son, Luke. And so we have officially reached the end of Death Sentence from 2007, starring Kevin Bacon. And also has John Goodman on it. Kelly Preston, God rest her soul, was also in this as Helen Hume, the wife. Um, yeah, this is a very. I'm glad that you picked this one, Russell. It was a very sobering film. Not really one that we can, you know, cut up and make fun of. Very serious film, but nothing says that all the watch-alongs have to be low budget things that we can, you know, make fun of. We like to have those, but sometimes it's also important to take a look at a film that maybe we normally wouldn't think of doing a watch along for. And that's another reason why I am enjoying having you guys, you know, support the channel, and you get something back. You get to at times introduce me to movies that I haven't seen. This was one I hadn't seen. Um, when Menelek picked the tunnel, that was one that I hadn't seen. Am I going to like all of them? No, of course not. As all of you are not going to like every pick, and you wouldn't like every pick that I choose, right? But I did enjoy sitting down with those of you that were watching, including Russell. Russell was very active in the chat the whole time. So thank you, Russell, and thank you for also for picking this film. It is one that I might, you know, I'm gonna take some time. It's not one I want to turn right around and rewatch because it is so dark. Yeah, very. I don't know if I would call it a satisfying ending because I don't think that's what it's supposed to be, but it's a appropriate ending, I think, to this type of film. And it kind of leaves it open ended, as the Death Wish movies were usually open ended near and at the end as well, right? So I think that having an open ended um, film like that, or ending to a film, is a great way um, to leave it, to not tie it up with a nice, neat little bow. And all movies don't have to be like that, right? As long as they don't cop out. And I don't feel like that this movie copped out, but I have seen movies where they had a non-ending, or it just seemed like they copped out. They lost steam at the end of the film. But I'm going to let these credits roll. Um, this was filmed in South Carolina. I did not know it was filmed in South Carolina. Um, but again, Russell, great pick on the film. And I want to remind everybody that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time will be Hell House LLC. And I'm also looking forward to rewatching Hell House LLC and discussing that with all of you guys and gals tomorrow night. Hopefully, I'll have some more Thanksgiving related programming coming up in the coming week. Now, I, of course, won't do anything on Thanksgiving, so there won't be any programming of any kind on Thanksgiving, which will be next Thursday. Um, and I don't know. I'm going to have to get back together with Candace. I'm not sure, since this next Friday is going to be the Friday after Thanksgiving. And, I'm sure Candace has got a lot of stuff to do. I've got a lot of stuff to do. Want to put up my Christmas tree. So I will have to get back with all of you guys and gals about whether we're going to do a Friday Foolish on Friday or not. If we don't, we may do one over the weekend, or we may just push it to the next Friday. Okay. So we have officially, reached the end of the credits and everything for Death Sentence. So I, as usual, have to run to the restroom. I did not want to get up during this movie and go away. So I wanted to be able to focus on it because it is one that I haven't seen. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Russell. And thank you again for your pick. And just remember, everybody, even if you're watching this on the replay, the next live stream I do, you too can, give a super chat of $5 or more and throw your hat in the ring to pick one of the next watch alongs that I do. And I'm going to get out of here for the night. Good night, Russell. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. And thank you for everybody else. I saw a few people come into the chat and saw the numbers go up and down as we were watching this. So I thank all of you that in any capacity hung out with me and Russell tonight as we watched this film. But I'm going to call it a night. And I'm going to get out of here for now, but I will be back tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to be watching Hell House LLC. And that is on Tubi, folks. I think it was on Shudder, but it must not be anymore. But it is on Tubi if you don't own a copy. So I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. And yes, you too can pick up a shirt with that design and that phrase on it, as well as many other cool designs on t-shirts, hoodies. You can pick you up a candle, a blended tea, mouse pads, tumblers, I don't think I have the tumblers up there just yet, but tote bags are up there as well. So hop on over there. It tis the season to be purchasing things for either yourself or for loved ones, friends. Yeah, all that. I don't know. You might even want to get some for your enemy, right? Oh, but anyway, and I do custom work. Just a reminder, if you're not into horror films or you get on the site and you don't see what you want, there's a handy little form right there on deaditesondeck.com that you can send to me. It'll go directly to my email, and I will take a look at it and see what we can get for you. So I'm out of here for now, folks, but I'll see everybody next time.